Good morning. Happy Wednesday. How is everybody doing this morning? It's Wednesday, April 10th. I hope you've had a good start to your day so far. And today is hump day. So I know a lot of times in the middle of the week, things get a little busy, things get a little stale sometimes. Sometimes we kind of dive off a little bit. We're going to talk about a couple things today. We're going to talk about just how to one way that you can kind of reincorporate some goals back into what you're doing, just kind of writing some lists and committing to or recommitting to some things that you said you were going to do. We're also going to talk just a little bit about how to catch some of your thoughts and retrain them, and then also the where your value is as a buyer's agent, because I've had some pretty unique experiences where our agents have really shined. Just want to talk a little bit about that and just remind you how valuable you are as a buyer's agent. So if you start to feel like, look, we're still hearing a lot of conversations. I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday and said, hey, I'm taking a listing. It's not going to go live until May. So it's before all of these changes are going to happen. So I just wanted to know what I need to do different. And my answer was, as much as we need to be innovative and we need to address these things and hit them head on and make sure that we are knowledgeable and have that expertise, as much as we need to change, we also need to stay the same as well. The more things change, the more they stay the same. So with all of these changes that are going on, with the settlement and all the talk, we're just trying to simply control the narrative. And the narrative is, look, nothing's really changing. So what am I going to do different? Nothing. Because I know that I'm a valuable resource. I know I'm a valuable listing agent. I'm a valuable buyer's agent. I'll be able to convey that value. And somebody who doesn't see my value, I don't want to do business with anyway. So what are we going to do different on the listing side? Nothing. We're going to stand up. We're going to convey our value to a seller. We're going to let them know what is going on in this market with the stats, how long it's going to take, where the value should be, where you should price it, what they can expect, how much money they're going to put in their pocket, because that's really where the focus needs to go, how much money they're going to put in their pocket. Show them the differences that it could mean because if they, most of them aren't even going to bring up the buyer's agent side of things. Most of them are going to move forward and discuss and try to negotiate commissions with you like they've always have or always not have. Every now and then you'll get someone who does bring it up and have some questions about that. And that's why we are bringing you our talk tracks for saying, hey, this is how you can control this narrative. Here's what's really going on. This is the only things that changed. This is what it really didn't change. And let me explain to you why it's in your best interest to do things. I can show you some of the stats that prove that. So we're just going to try and show you where your value is as an agent, as a buyer's agent, as a seller's agent, and just give you a few of those ideas. So let's go ahead and get started. First, all right, let's start with this. Who here wants to accomplish or has some goals or has something that they want to recommit to here in the next, what's today, April? So we got 8 months till the end of the year. If you have something, raise your hand or say yes, that there's some things that you want to commit to. There's some things that you want to achieve. I don't care if they're big, little, or small. I don't care if it's something very simple like, hey, I want to get one extra listing in this neighborhood, or I want to trade my car in and get a new car, or I want to buy another investment property. Who here has something that they want to commit to, that they want to achieve by the end of this year and feel like they have not been very focused on it, or have not been able to get some clarity and focus on it, or haven't committed to it yet? Who here feels they have something like that? Because if you did, got a few steps on the board for you. And I'd really like you to take this opportunity to write a few things down and get recommitted to what you said that you wanted. Commitment. What is commitment? Commitment is staying true to what you said you were going to do long after the mood that you said it in has left. Commitment, staying true to what you said you would do long after the mood has left. So I want you to recommit to some of these things. So let's start off here. What's the list? Write down, first of all, I want you to write down the things that you want to accomplish in the next 12 months. Whatever it is, if it's 5 things, 2 things, 10 things, I would start off with, let's say, write down 5 things you want to accomplish by the end of this year. And I'm sorry, not the month, by the end of this year. Write down 5 things you want to accomplish by the end of this year. 5 things. Big, little, small, doesn't matter. Write them all down. Write every single one of them down. What is it? Somebody chat in something you want to accomplish by the end of this year. Just tell us what you want. One thing I want to do by the end of this year, I had an accident in my truck 2 years ago, and it's about time that I trade it in and get a new one that doesn't have that kind of history on it. So by the end of this year, I'll trade my truck in and get a new truck. By the end of this year, I want to buy another investment property. One is a flip and one is a rental. So I want 2 more properties by the end of this year. Buy 1 flip property, buy 1 rental property. There's 3 things that I want. What else do I want? There's 2 other things that are on my list that I thought would be cool. One is, I think it'd be cool to buy a golf cart because my kids absolutely love it. And the other one is possibly I want to do some more research and look into, say, the like Freedom Boat Club or something like that and find out some more information. There's 5 simple things that I said that I would want to do by the end of this year. Chat in. Pay off my car. Atomic Habits, highly recommend go hand in absolutely. Atomic Habits is an awesome book. Recruit 10 experienced agents. That's good. Thank you for sharing those things. So write them down. Once you write them down, I want you to take that list of things and I want you to write them again as if you are already living in it and it's already done. So if your goal was to recruit 10 experienced agents, you would write it as if you had already accomplished that. I've recruited 10 top producing experienced agents in the St. Pete area, Madeira Beach area, Treasure Island area, Gulf Beaches area, and they are now on my team producing. Total lanai makeover, including new furniture. So I love sitting on my new lanai with all of the new furniture. It makes me feel this way. Write it as if it's already done. Just to get a different perspective. I just paid off my car and finished reading 3 books. Write it down as if you're already living in it, already experiencing it. It's already happening. It's already done. And you are actually in the moment, and write in a couple feelings about how it feels that it's already done and you're already living it. Emotion drives motion. So I would say write down some of the feelings and emotions that you have that it's already. I love driving my new Ram 1500 with this feature, that feature, with the panoramic sunroof and the 12-inch screen and the leather seats and, you know, the color and all. I love driving it. It makes me feel comfortable and confident and safe. Write it down as if it's already. Now that you've written those things down as if they're already done, now just do one of them with me as we go through this. I'm trying to give you some ideas. Go back and do the other 4 afterwards. Now set a deadline. When will you have this incorporated into your life? Because not all of them are going to take till the end of the year. Not all of them will take till December 31st of this year. Write the deadline down for when you will have it done by. A dream without a deadline is just a dream. A dream with a deadline becomes a goal. So we need to know when it's going to be. 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 8 months. Which one by the end of this year, at what point in time will you have it? Good. Everybody got their deadlines for this one, at least the one item. At least one of those goals. Mid to end of summer, not specific enough, Lauren. Pick a deadline. Mid to end of summer, that's basically a 3-month span. So I want you to pick the deadline. If it's end of summer, fine. Which one feels good? So 1 book a month, have a deadline. Pick it, make it specific, because 1 book a month could be I read that 1 book, and you may wait till the end of the year, and then you feel rushed because you said you'd read 3 books, and now it's already October, and you're like, damn it, I got to rush and get. Now you're feeling stressed about achieving a goal. And yes, you'll get it done, but it's not going to be as fun and exciting. So pick the deadlines, pick the months, make it specific. SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, real, purposeful, and time sensitive. Pick the deadline. When is it going to be done by? I want it specific. I want you to be able to sit down and track and measure how close you are. August 31st. Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that. Now, that 1 goal, make a list of everything you would need to accomplish to have that. Just start writing down all of the things. Trade my truck in. I need to clean my truck, detail my truck, fix a few minor, tiny little things, replace the windshield that has a crack in it so I get more money for it. Research the trucks, contact the car haggler, who's a private guy who will help me out. Go test drive them, get online, figure out pricing, call my insurance company, find out what the rates would be, the differences. Want to buy an investment property. I need to get a list of names that I can call. I need to skip trace that. I need the company that'll do the skip tracing. I need to set aside time for when I will make those calls, how many days, when I'm going to call, or I need to get a virtual assistant that's going to make those calls for me and set those appointments. I need to send out mailers. I need to create postcards. Make a list of everything that you're going to need to do to accomplish that goal. Get a list. Need to read 30 minutes a day. What time? When will you do it? In the morning, afternoon, or the evening? Is it the end of the day? What happens if you don't get your 30 minutes done that one day? Do you double up the next day, or do you allow it to kind of pass off? Book club is Thursday. So we have Rachel's doing a book club. So if you wanted to get part of a book done, and that's one of your goals, contact Rachel. She'll hook you up and take care of you. In the evening before bed, what time? 30 minutes a day. Good. So make a list of all of the things that you would need to do. You have to identify, WIPA, you'd have to identify the book, know when you read it, figure out how many pages it is, decide how many pages it's going to be every single day. How many pages can I read within that 30 minutes? Make sure I'm on track to do one book a month. I don't want to set you up for failure because you didn't track the number of pages in the book. And in a 1 month span, there's too many pages for me to do 30 minutes a day and finish that book in a month. I don't know. Possibly, maybe not, but just make sure you track all those things. So write down everything you would need to accomplish. If you need a new listing, what do I need to identify the farm, identify the people, know who I'm calling, when I'm calling, pick the days, how long, how many appointments do I need? Am I doing open houses? Am I door knocking? Am I calling? Am I mailing? Am I emailing? You have to make the list of the things that need to be done. Now, moving on from that, organize that list into a manageable list, into a manageable checklist. Make it manageable. Simple actions that you can do. Break that. I need to get a list of names. Okay, so where am I going to get that list of names? Am I going to get it from public record? Am I going to get it from Realist, from MLS? Am I going to contact a company? Am I going to pay a virtual assistant? Am I going to go to Fiverr and have somebody pull this information? Make a manageable list of how it's going to get done. Very manageable, simple, manageable, actionable items. They have to be actionable. If you can't look at that list and say, I know exactly how to do that and it will only take me this long to get that started and get that completed, it's not actionable enough. It needs to be broken down into steps. So make a manageable list of things that need to be done. And then once you have that manageable list of the things that need to be done, because we know everything that needs to happen for me to accomplish it, and then a manageable list of actionable items, now take action every day. Do something towards that goal every day. If not every day, know that every day, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, every week, whatever that is, I am doing something towards that goal. It depends on what the goal is. If your goal is to redo your lanai, you don't need to do something every single day, but once a week, you have 30 minutes a day where you put some things in, you make some calls, coordinate this, set an appointment, get a quote, go do some research, hire a designer, but make it a manageable, actionable list and take action and start checking those things off. Depends on your timelines and how quickly those things need to get done. All right. I hope that helps. I hope that's something that you guys could do to kind of recommit to something you said you wanted, but have not done or haven't put the action items in. This is why the majority of people's New Year's resolutions don't come to fruition, because they don't get more specific. They just want something, and wanting something does not beget it. To start managing that, creating it, focus on it, manage it into actionable items. All right. And then the next step, once you have these actionable items and once you have this goal and you have this focus and you've written it down as something that you're already experiencing, it's already a part of your life, make those that list where you said, this is what it is and it's already part of my life and I'm enjoying this. Make that an intention statement that you carry with you throughout the day. Make that something that you remind yourself of. Set an alarm on your phone to go off 3 times a day where you remind yourself that I'm so relaxed and enjoying this time sitting on my brand new patio in my lanai with all of this furniture and this Zen space that just makes me feel so peaceful where I can relax at the end of the day. Remind yourself to revisit that. Emotion drives motion, but a lot of times we forget about those things. We forget to think about those because we get caught up in all of our busy day. And then at the end of the day, we wonder why we haven't got any closer to the goal because we get so distracted and so stressed and there's so many other things to do. So just remind yourself to remember to think about those things. And then this is how to manage some of your thoughts, the 3 C's of mastering your thoughts. If you don't like the things you're thinking, here's very simple. I'm not saying it's easy. You just have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing to do it, and you have to actually think that I can do these things. 3 C's of mastering your thoughts. Catch the thought, check the thought, get it in check, and then change that thought. Very simply, identify the thought, interrupt the thought, and replace it with the thought that you want. Who here believes that we can control our thoughts? They are a choice. They are not just a reaction. They are a choice. I have a choice to react a certain way and feel a certain way. But you feel that? If you do, this is for you. Catch the thought. Identify the thought you don't like. Identify when your thoughts are in the wrong place. The problem with this, with most, we don't like to be wrong. We don't like to tell ourselves we are having a bad thought and it's our fault. We allow ourselves to be a victim to other people, and I'm only reacting to what you did to me and made me feel that way. That's where the spiral starts. You need to catch the thought, identify the thought, and identify that thought as a choice that you made to react to that person. Not because of what they did, because of how you've always reacted or how you've always done things, or that's just the way that I've been, and that's absolute BS. I don't have to do that. You have to catch the thought. Identify when you are having a bad thought and be okay with it. That's probably one of the hardest things, is actually catching the thought, not just saying, well, I'm just having a bad day. No, you're not having a bad day. Les Brown says you're having a character building day. This is an opportunity to build on your character, to catch those thoughts and to change them. So catch the thought, identify it. Just say, this is not a good thought. This is not who I am. This is not how I want to be. I am not reacting the way that I should react. Then interrupt. Get that thought in check. Interrupt that pattern. Normally, we can't stop a bird from flying overhead, but we can stop them from building a nest, right? Normally, we're asking ourselves questions when something happens and we're having a bad thought. Why would they do that to me? That's so wrong. I can't believe you would do that to me. And then we either attack or we hide or we react a certain way. But it all comes down to the thought process and the questions that we're saying. So if we change and interrupt the pattern of why is this happening to me and ask a better question, what else could this mean in this moment? How could this be happening for me in this moment and not to me? It feels like it's happening to me, but how could this moment be happening for me? Where's the blessing in this? I've been using this statement. I don't even ask the question first. I've literally created an intention that everything is always happening for me. Everything is always working out for me, even when it doesn't seem like it is. So how is this moment working out for me? That's how I've shifted. And don't get me wrong, I have bad days. I have bad hours, bad weeks. I have bad moments. But I continue to tell myself so that it doesn't go down that rabbit hole of everything is always working out for me, even when it doesn't seem like it is. How is this moment working out? Let me find all of the ways that this could be a blessing for me, that this could be a moment that is for me, not happening to me. Let me find all those ways. And you know why? Because everything that you were saying before about how bad this is and how much this sucks and that person did this to me and I can't believe I lost the listing and I can't believe the buyer did this. Why would they act this way? It's all made up anyway. It's not real. It's things you made up in your head to be safe. So why not make up something that makes you feel better? Why not make up something that empowers you rather than drags you down and holds you back? It's all made up. They're all made up thoughts. They're all made up emotions. It's all speculation as to why something happened. And even when you feel and you know that you have a complete understanding of why this person did what they did, you're most likely still wrong, because we are not in that person's head, and they could say one thing and it means something to you, but when they said it, it meant something different to them. So everything that you're saying is all made up. So let's make up something that feels good, that feels better, that empowers us. So instead of this is happening to me, why would they do this? I can't believe that. They just ghosted me. They're probably working with another agent. They're just going to go buy a home and get a $600,000 home. Why not say they didn't ghost me? They've got a lot of life happening right now. They probably had a family member pass on. They had to leave town right away. Maybe they found out that they lost their job, their income, their credit, and they're embarrassed and they don't want to talk about it. I will continue to follow up and be the most valuable person I can be for them, and we'll see what works out. If they don't ever reply to me, that's okay, because they weren't going to be a good buyer anyway. I was going to waste the next 6 months of my career working with this buyer who is never going to buy a home and never commit. So it was going to be a waste of my time. Thank you so much for not wasting my next 6 months of my time. Both scenarios are made up, but whichever one you believe is going to be true. Next, replace the thought like we just went through. That's the check, catch, check, change. Identify, interrupt, replace. Replace it with something that makes you feel better. Again, everything that we say in our mind is all made up. So why not make up something that makes you feel good? All right. So I hope you can use some of these things, some of these tools to identify some things that you want by the end of this year. Make a list of those things that you want. Start breaking it down into everything that you would need to accomplish. Write it as if you've already accomplished it and you're living in it, creating some emotion around it. Put it into manageable, actionable items, and then do something every day, every other day to work towards that so you get it done in the time frame that you're going to want to buy. And when you feel yourself getting off track, right here, these 3 C's, identify or check or catch, check, and change, identify, interrupt, replace those thoughts. Real quickly, we got the top 10 counties for fastest sales in the state of Florida right now. Top 10 right here: Polk County, Lake County, Sarasota, Nassau, Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Alachua, Orange County, and Seminole County. Right now, the fastest time frame to sell a home is 39 days. That's the number one city or number one county. Seminole County, Florida, is selling in 39 days. And then the 10th spot is 55 days. So it looks like on average, we're looking at about a 40 to 60 day supply of homes. That's about how long it's taking for a home to sell on the market when it's priced right. Looks like the average price is right around that 400. Just if you put all these together, going to be right around 400, 425. But for most of our counties, you're looking at about a 30 to 60 day supply of homes, and you're looking around an average home price of around $400,000. So just keep that in mind. We need to price properties correctly. If you price a property correctly, a home priced at market price sells in market time. Home priced above market price sells in above market time. A home price below market price sells in below market time. Very simple, common sense things, but until we put it into words and make sure our sellers understand that, sometimes it doesn't always convey. Okay, 5 minutes. It's going to talk about value. I just won't have enough time. But so we're talking about what the series we're doing on the Tuesday meeting is 18 ways that you as a buyer's agent provide an immense amount of value. I just had a lender that I'm working with for a buyer contact me, reach out and say, you know what, all this buyer's agent commission stuff, he goes, we all know it's a bunch of BS, but right now I have more ways that you are valuable as a buyer's agent for your buyer going through this transaction than I've seen in any one transaction in a long time. He goes, because of the way that we've had to negotiate through the offer, negotiate closing costs, negotiate the price. Getting the offer under contract took like 5 days because the seller was stubborn. We did an inspection and then we had to negotiate through insurance because there was a recalled panel. The roof is a 3-tab shingle, not a like a 3-tab type shingle, not a architectural or dimensional shingle. The roof is 12 years old. Those roofs are typically only a 15-year life, whereas like a architectural shingle is more like 18 to 20. Either way, insurance is only giving 15 years for pretty much any roof. 12-year-old roof only has 3 years of life. If you only have 3 years of life, there's no insurance carrier that'll write your policy unless you get a separate type of policy that is not in the best interest of the buyer because it's not going to fully protect them. We had to navigate the recalled electric panel, a 12-year-old roof, plumbing issues, other minor damages, and that took 2 weeks of negotiating. 2 weeks of negotiating back and forth with the seller. All the meantime, guess what was expiring? The inspection period, which we had to extend. Most buyers without any representation would think, no, I asked them for the repairs. If they don't do them, then I can still cancel. Not if you don't extend your inspection period. Then as we're negotiating those repairs back and forth for 2 weeks, trying to get some items done for the roof, a roof replacement, a roof treatment, a new electric panel, new plumbing, other repairs. We're going through all that. We're getting closer to our loan approval timeline because we had 10 days for inspections. Once we were near that 8 to 10 day mark, we're asking for those items to be done because we need them for our loan approval. 2 weeks later, 25 days comes around, and we're 5 days from our expiration of our loan approval date and 10 days from when we were supposed to close. We have to extend our closing and our loan approval date. So we're extending those things. Luckily, the seller agreed to that, and we got an appraisal, and the appraisal came back, and guess what happened on the appraisal? The appraisal said the roof needs to be inspected by a licensed roofer, and they need a report from the roofer saying that it's in good condition. There is potentially damaged, rotten wood that needs to be repaired or replaced in multiple places. All the while, the seller was not willing to do the roof until we had the appraisal come back, which is delaying everything again, which means we're going to have to extend another time for our loan approval period and our closing date to make sure the buyer is still protected. And the buyer's getting a down payment assistance loan. They have to take a course and a class. So there's so many things that have happened in one transaction with one buyer and one seller where we have conveyed this value, and everybody is so grateful. And luckily, we've had an awesome listing agent on the other side who's been very communicative through this entire process and understands. But there's so many issues and so many things that you provide value for simply protecting the buyer and their escrow deposit. If this buyer was not represented or was working with just the listing agent, there would have been a lot of concerns, especially if the seller turned into a real a-hole and said, I'm not doing anything else. And the buyer goes, well, I'm going to cancel. And the seller says, well, you're outside of any of your inspections or your loan approval because you never extended it. But the agent who represents the transaction didn't tell me to do that. Not my problem. It creates a lot of issues. Just in one transaction alone, we've had a lot of these things pop up. So you convey a lot of value. You are a very valuable resource. You need to be confident in that value. I can send them out, Darlene. Yes, I can share those out to you. You need to be confident in that value because you do provide a lot of value on the list side, on the buyer side. Nothing is changing. As much as things change, they're going to stay the same as well. So we need to be doing things a little bit differently, the way we convey that value, to make sure we convey more and more value and we show up as a professional, but nothing is going to change. We're going to continue to operate in the same manner. We're going to continue to provide a valuable a valuable resource to homeowners and home buyers who need that resource, and will be compensated in return for the amount of value that we provide. Be the most valuable person in your neighborhood. Hope you guys have a happy Wednesday. It is 9:31 on April 10th. Happy Wednesday. If you need anything, we're always available for you. Thank you.